Temple of Enlightenment, going to do some scrying. Do you have the board sweeper opponent? Greetings, everyone. I am glad to be here, and I am glad that you are here. Today's jank is in Brawl because it is Brawl Wednesday, and I couldn't be more excited. Today's commander is Orah Skyclave Hierophant. 4 mana 3/3, Hill Giant. With lifelink, whenever Orah Skyclave Hierophant or another cleric you control dies, return target cleric card with lesser CMC from your graveyard to the battlefield. Very strong ability, provided we can get it to go off, and provided we have enough clerics. Well, as it turns out, there aren't a ton of clerics in standard right now. And of course, for regular Brawl, we're restricted to the standard card pool. But as you can see, there are a fair number of relatively powerful ones anyway. A few you will be very accustomed to seeing, I am sure. Vito. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Very strong card. As you are also likely to have seen Archfiend's Vessel. When Archfiend's Vessel enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard or cast it from your graveyard, exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. Instead, right? Speaker of Heavens, if you have 7 more than your starting life total, you can make 4/4s every turn. Very strong. 4/4 flying, I should say. Hallowed Priest. Think Ajani's Pridemate style, only instead of a 2/2, it's a 1/1. But then there's also Impassioned Orator that enables those sorts of things. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life. Luminarch Aspirant. Another cleric, ladies and gentlemen. At the beginning of combat in your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. This can really start adding up, particularly if the creature you're giving has lifelink, which many of these do, of course. Where are you? Darn it. Oh, yeah. I was looking for our commander. I knew it was a 4-drop, darn it. But that's because it's over here. So, very, very strong. Just throwing those counters around. But you'll also remember Cleric of Life's Bond. If you've been paying attention to clerics at all in Standard, whenever another cleric enters battlefield under your control, you gain a life. And whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Cleric of Life's Bond. So, very similar to Ajani's Pridemate yet again, and can really grow out of control. Another really interesting creature here, Taborax, Hope's Demise, 3 mana 2/2 flying demon cleric, ladies and gentlemen, has lifelink as long as it has 5 or more 1/1 counters. Remember, we can throw 1/1 counters on it, but it also feeds itself. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 counter on Taborax. Doesn't matter who it was that was dying. But if it was a cleric, you may draw a card, and if you do, lose a life. So can both feed your hand, but also grows kind of out of control. Doesn't typically survive real long, to be flatly honest. But definitely a must-remove threat. And if it does survive, very, very powerful card. Can take over the game. But what are we doing outside of clerics, ladies and gentlemen? Excellent question. We are trying to kind of control the game. We do have Luris to support the recursion plan, but we also have a robust complement of removal spells for opposing planeswalkers and creatures specifically, but also non-land permanents when you include things like Skyclave Apparition and Elspeth Conquers Death. And no board sweepers, so that could come back to get us. We will see. But yeah, in general, we are a fairly aggressive deck that likes to hold up removal and hopefully be able to control the game flow long enough for us to bring home the victory. The question is, will it work? You and I are about to find out together. Let's go play some games, shall we? We're here against Zero Finlay Zero, and we will keep this. Our opponent also keeping 7. We're going to lead on a Plains, followed up by a Swamp, and likely Cleric of Life's Bond. I can't imagine the play pattern being any different. In fact, it is not. Your go, opponent. I think we're going to go with a Bright Climb Pathway and a Vito, though this one is a little less certain than our last. Okay, yeah, there could be potential plays that might change this pattern. I do like the idea of both pinging our opponent from life gain and getting counters on the Cleric. It gives us a way of pressuring what is sure to be a more controlling style deck one would expect. Narset of the Ancient Way affords our opponent an awful lot of opportunities to slow the game down in their favor. Gaining life, adding mana for creature spells, drawing additional cards, ultimating really quickly if none of those things are required, likely means our opponent has board sweepers and some, you know, things such as that, I would expect. So we are going to Orah, I think. Yeah, I think so, because this makes them have it. We get to ping them a little harder, hit them for 5. They've got to have the board sweeper next turn, but then we still get back a creature this upcoming turn, right? And that is quite good for us. If they have the Shadow of the Sky, we're in a lot of trouble. If they don't, right, you know, we're in pretty good shape. Though I think, admittedly, we're going to struggle against board sweepers typically anyway. Okay, Gadwick coming on down. That is a good one for us. We are definitely pleased about that. Let's just eat to extinction Gadwick. Don't want them tapping all of our stuff down or drawing more cards. We do want the land. Thank you, deck. I appreciate it. And we're going to get in. Down to 7, our opponent goes. Clerical Lifespan goes up to a 5/5. Our opponent drops to 4. Temple of Enlightenment going to do some scrying. Do you have the board sweeper opponent? Scry goes bottom. Skyclave Apparition. Going to get rid of Cleric of Lifespan. That fellow is gone forever, but opponent, I don't think that does it, right? They have to have another means of interacting. I don't think that does it. So, in an effort to be certain, because you never know, we're going to Blood Curdle. And our opponent's going to die. GG, opponent, GG. Right, folks. Yeah, we're up against Seabrush, who is playing Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats. I wonder if this is actually a rogue deck, or what is going on over there. I am very interested about what's going on in our opponent's hand. That definitely seems pretty, like, it could go any number of ways, right? All right, we're just going to Arcane Signet. If nothing happens, we can both play and activate Maze Mind Tome to draw a card, which is definitely a thing we might do. It's also just possible we just Lithoform Engine. I think we're going to Lithoform Engine, because then we can start copying things, and that seems like a great... Oof. All right, 4 damage. Advantage for us to have in this game. All right, let's see. Yeah, let's just gain a life. Maze Mind Tome gonna come down. And we're gonna draw a card with Maze Mind Tome. We could do this at instant speed, but I think the risk of me having an accident with it is not great. Drawing the Giant Killer is very good here. This means that as long as we save 3 mana, we can destroy a creature power 4 or greater, which presumably they're going to keep pumping this Kargan Intimidator. This is... they've got a huge advantage right now. 8 or more, it gets 1-0 and Menace. Yes, okay, fair enough. Yep. Let's just pass, I guess. The more I look at this deck, folks, I think we probably could use a board sweeper or two. Probably Cast Off, I think, and maybe just Shadow the Sky as 2 of. It's also possible maybe Witch's Vengeance, perhaps. Let's see. How much does this cost? All right, so let's just trade with the Kargan Intimidator. Take 3. All right, that was actually a good draw. Gain a couple of life. And yeah, I think we're just going to pass the turn. We're probably gotta kill the Seagate Colossus. I do believe that is going to be a requirement. But we're kind of expecting our opponent to get this Zagras down. And then we can Giant Killer both the Seagate Colossus and the Zagras if they do it. All right, they choose not to. This is brave as far as I'm concerned. All right. So our opponent isn't willing to advance the board. We're just going to go ahead and not advance the board as well. There's no reason to take any damage, but okay. Opponent going to return a land, probably the Radiant Fountain to hand. We take 2 and pass the turn. We're not thrilled about this current situation, no question about it. But if we do this, we can't kill the 2 creatures. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and pass for now. Not great. Still expecting this Zagras to come down, but we will kill the Pyroclastic Hellion as well, regardless whether or not they cast the Zagras. Because we can't just keep taking damage. Okay, it's Kervak, the Spiteful, rather than Zagras. And darn it, I was not thinking this through. Yeah. We needed to do this before Kervak came down. Because not only do we lose the option of Chump, but it shrinks the Pyroclastic Hellion, so we can't copy the ability. So we're going to take kind of a hunk of damage here. We are going to draw 2 cards, though, for our trouble. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Really want that card in play. Oh boy. All right, so let's just get down to Mangara. And pass. I think we're going to be blood curdling here. Opponent examining their options. Is it just Zagras, opponent? Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this does have haste. And we're on 11. It is Zagras finally making an appearance. Indeed. So let's draw a card. See what happens. It's a swamp. Alright, so we're going to Blood Curdle the Zagras to take away the Death Touch. That is really annoying. This does allow us to jump in front of the Skitter Sneak and not lose our Mangara, but we do lose 6 life for the trouble, folks. Down to 6. Not a comforting affair. So, Heartless Act, a good one. We're going to avail ourselves to that, for sure. Alright, let's get down Giant Killer. And pass. I think we're going to be Heartless Acting multiple creatures next turn. But we want to be able to tap down creatures in the future because our life total is quite low. Alright, gonna take 2. This is not great. 2 goes to our Giant Killer. That is unfortunate, ladies and gents. I was thinking that was only to player, but that's actually really quite strong. Unfortunately. Alright, Heartless Act. On the Pyroclastic Hellion. And we're going to copy this spell to kill Trainwreck. Yep. And we actually gain 2 life off of this attack now. As long as our Mangara survives, everything was great. If they have a Bone Crusher or something, things get a lot less great, right? Oh boy, second spell this turn, folks. We draw another card. Mangara having drawn us a number of cards so far. All right. Maze Mind Tome having been very useful for us. Gets cashed in. We draw Skyclave Apparition. That is a strong magic card. For sure. All right, let's see. We can Athreos and Orah potentially. And that is definitely good. Hopefully we don't die here. Because I think this is what we're going for. We're going to put a counter on our own Orah so that we can block with it and have it die or whatever, but then it will return. That does work for our creatures, right? At the beginning of your end step, put a coin counter on another target creature. Whenever a creature with coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card in the battlefield under your control. Okay, yeah. It does work. That's unfortunate. Losing our Mangara, very unfortunate. Shatter Skull Minotaur. Oh my word. That's not great. Alright, well. Yeah. Orah going to pay the price. Alright. Let's see. So, let's... Nullpriest. Kicked. There's just one creature, right? Yeah, that's fine then. It's not a big deal, like... Yeah, we get back a giant killer, but it is kind of nice, not gonna lie. All right, we are going to just hold on, I think. Yeah, Orah. We definitely want to make sure Orah stays around. That card is very strong. I don't expect our opponent to have a ton of exile style removal. So the Athreos, while not immune to removal, there isn't a ton. There's going to likely be not Blood Curdle. What's the other one? Didn't we already use that? No, that was last game. I don't know. Oh, folks. Yeah, our opponent's like, no, actually, it was close. But there is, in fact, no cigar. Again, I do believe it's going to boil down to the fact that they know they can't get rid of Athreos. And if they can't get rid of Athreos, they can't get rid of Orah. So any amount of killing anything else they do just doesn't matter. And we will eventually grind through them, if nothing else, just trading over and over and over and over. You know, every trade goes in our favor now. I think this is reasonable for our opponent's scoop, but it does have to feel bad. So, good game, Seabrush. Good game. I did enjoy it. That was a wild, wild match, and I appreciate your the opportunity to face off against you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are looking back at the deck. Honestly, I think it didn't perform as well as I would have hoped. I think we do need a couple of board resets. Specifically, maybe Cast Off, maybe Shadow the Sky. Just in case our opponent jumps out ahead of us. We ended up losing more than we won. And, like, things like the one win wasn't even very satisfying. It didn't really do a whole lot, and we just won. Then we had a couple of interesting wins there, or whatever. But, you know, things are what they are. I'm not super excited about this deck, but I think it was fun. I had a great time with Orah specifically. We didn't run into a lot of graveyard hate, which is very important. And when we had, in the last game, when we had Athreos and Orah out together, it was just like a lot of fun. Really, really enjoyed it. But every moment in this deck felt like, you know, things could just be blown wide open for either side every moment. So that part I really did enjoy. Would I recommend you spending a bunch of wild cards on this right now for your personal brawl? I don't know. Probably not. I think if we're going to play this on the stream tonight, so if we can make a couple of improvements, I think it was pretty close, and then I might be able to give my stamp of approval. This specific 60, I'm a little less sold on. I don't think this is very exciting to me, but I did have a lot of fun, so that is definitely going in its favor. Alternatively, mentioning the stream, I think it's important to note that I am I stream 5 nights a week, ladies and gentlemen, 4 hours per stream. So if you stop out, we're going to be playing this deck tonight, and it would be great if you would just join us, and I could get to know you, and, you know, we could have a great time, and maybe we can refine this deck a little more and make things a little more streamlined, a little, you know, give us a few more outs in bad situations, you know, what to do from behind sort of things. And I think it might actually be a lot of fun once we get through all that. I also would like to note that if you comment right now down below and tell me some different improvements and stuff, I always read every single comment. You can give me different things you might do for this deck, and I might just make these changes right before the stream when we play it tonight. So it would be, you know, helpful for me if you would do that. And while we're talking about being helpful, liking and subscribing and stuff, that's how YouTube knows to recommend videos. So you can help my channel just by doing that thing. And you don't have to feel like you have to, darn it. You know, this isn't... I'm not your responsibility, but it would be a very kind thing for you to do. Literally, just hitting that little like button, that does a ton for me, because that tells YouTube, yes, you should recommend this. And that's, yeah, that's huge for me. So I really appreciate it. Aside from all that, folks, I'm back tomorrow with more daily YouTube content, and I will catch you then.